What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give out takes on professional wrestling. In a Saturday night, January 25th, 2025, and this is your Saturday night's main event review here on the Big Fight Field channel. And there was a ton of improvement from the last Saturday night main event we had to this Saturday night main event. I thought the presentation in this show tonight was better than the last presentation in the first Saturday night's main event. I thought the matches were better in this show. I thought the segments that we had were better. I thought this show was really good. And I really didn't like the first Saturday night main event they had in New York. So I wouldn't say it was miles better, but there was a ton of improvements. There was a lot of great stuff on the show tonight. I wouldn't say there was a bad thing that happened at all. I mean, we start with Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax, where, again, I really did not like their match at Elimination Chamber in Australia last year. A lot of people did. I did not like that match. I thought their match tonight was much better than that. I thought they worked well tonight. They had a good match. I thought Braun Breaker and Sheamus was great. It wasn't stuff that we haven't seen before. Braun Breaker doing Braun Breaker kind of things. He's amazing. He's probably my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now. He's awesome. I thought that match was great. The segment between Kevin Owens and Cody with Shawn Michaels, gold. Would I have liked to see it end a different way? Yes, but that's just because I'm selfish, and I love Kevin Owens. Jacob Fatu absolutely dismantling Braun Strowman was probably the best thing on the entire show tonight. He was a star going into this. He's a made man coming out of it. And then the main event was honestly probably the weakest thing on the show, which isn't saying much because it was a lot of stuff filled with good on the show, in my opinion. So, overall, I was a fan of this show. I'm giving it a thumbs up, and I would say 8 out of 10. I would say I give Saturday Night Main Event an 8 out of 10 show for the WWE. So, we're going to go over all of it. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to Saturday Night's Main Event. We're going to get right into it. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Go ahead, check out last night's SmackDown review. It will be up in the last 20 seconds of this video. All you have to do, when that video pops up in the last 20 seconds, all you have to do is click on it, and it'll take you right to the video. But of course, don't do that until you've seen the entirety of this video, of this podcast Saturday Night Main Event review. And also subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel, because this is going to be our first full week of wrestling content in a very long time. We are going to have Raw on Monday. We're going to have AEW on Wednesday. We're going to have the Royal Rumble prediction video on Thursday. We're going to have SmackDown on Friday. And then Saturday night, the Royal Rumble begins. And Saturday night begins the road to WrestleMania at the Royal Rumble. It's going to be the highest intended Royal Rumble ever. The largest gate in the history of the Royal Rumble. So WWE is going to be making history next weekend in Indianapolis. I can't wait to talk about it here on the channel, and I can't wait to see what finds out. The Royal Rumble is going to be awesome. So, let's go ahead and dive right into the show. We had before we get into the matches, we had audio issues with the show. If you were watching on NBC, you had... I don't even know how to describe it. There was a combination of English and Spanish, where there's a Spanish person talking and there was Joe Tessitore talking, but you couldn't hear a word that Joe Tessitore was saying because the Spanish audio was so fucking loud. So I'm scrolling on Twitter and I see a tweet that says, go on Peacock and there's no issues. So I go on Peacock and indeed there was no issues. So last time, the majority of people watched this show on NBC. This time, the majority of people watched this show on Peacock because there was audio issues on NBC. So, WWE had a bad night. Maybe it was WWE, maybe it was NBC. I don't really know. So, we have ring introductions for Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax, and this is so nostalgic, so old school. We have the Mega Boost microphone coming down. One microphone here, one microphone there. Lillian Garcia is doing the introduction. The referee is wearing the old school black pants, blue collared shirt with a bow tie. And while Lillian introduces Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax gives her a good old headbutt right to the head. And Rhea Ripley fights back with a drop kick, and they're fighting, and on the outside, and Rhea gives Nia a chop. She goes for an arm drag, but Nia catches her in a powerbomb position. But Rhea is able to reverse it to a code red, which Nia Jax kicks out on. But that was very nice from Rhea Ripley. She gives Nia a crossbody onto the outside, and she goes for the riptide, but Nia reverses it, and she hits a Samoan drop. And then she doesn't hit one, but she hits two Gonzai drops, and Rhea Ripley kicked out. So Nia's furious, and Nia's going for something. I can't remember what it was, but Rhea hits the riptide and pins Nia Jax clean. So Nia Jax is probably gonna. She is in the Royal Rumble. She announced it last night on SmackDown. This match made no sense, but at the end of the day, they work really well together. Rhea and Nia, they work well together. And even though I didn't like their first match at Elimination Chamber in February last year, I did like this match. I thought this match was good. I thought the crowd was hot. They were booing Nia Jax constantly. They were cheering Rhea Ripley constantly. Rhea Ripley retains. Rhea Ripley, we'll see what her plans are. There's reports coming from WrestleVotes that Bianca Belair could be on the hinge of challenging Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, which, if they're going to do that, that's a big enough match where that should main event the first night of WrestleMania. Maybe even the second night. And this year, I just don't see how that's the case. So I would pause on that for a year. Maybe next year, but this year, I don't think so. I think that I don't want to spoil it. So maybe Becky. I don't know. We have Sheamus and Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. And we have the Body, Jesse Ventura. That is a hilarious nickname. I don't know why, but I just find it hilarious. Jesse, the Body, Ventura. So we have Sheamus and Braun for the Intercontinental Championship. This isn't the first time we've seen these guys wrestle for this title. So we'll go right here. Braun is on the outside. And he's going for a spear. And Sheamus lifts him up and throws him over the barricade onto like a couch chair that the ring announcer sits on. So he drags Braun into the ring, hits a diving clothesline off the top rope, and then we get this amazing spear from Braun Breaker where Sheamus is on the top of the steps and he jumps for like a jumping clothesline or whatever, and Braun Breaker hits him with a spear in midair. Crowd's going insane. I'm going insane. Shit like this. And shit like the Frankensteiner Brainbuster. Not Brainbuster. Hurricane Rana. That Braun Breaker hits on the top rope is reasons why he's my favorite wrestler in the WWE. He is so young. I think he's like 25, maybe 26. And he's got years to go. And he is an amazing wrestler. He is a great professional wrestler. And speaking of that, Frankensteiner, Hurricane Rana, he hits Sheamus with that move coming out of the break. And, Sheamus, he had multiple opportunities to win this match. Knee strike to the face. They even gave him a close near fall where Braun Breaker could put his foot on the bottom rope. And Body was going insane over this. He's like, that's 3. The referee didn't see the foot. The referee should have counted 3. Sheamus should be the Intercontinental Champion right now. So, the Body was a heel commentator for the last Saturday Night Main Event. This time he is a babyface commentator. But he was awesome. He's hilarious. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing every Saturday Night Main Event show for the WWE. So, Sheamus goes for another bro kick. This time Braun Breaker reverses it, and he hits the spear, and he beats Sheamus clean. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker retains the Intercontinental Championship. A lot of people thought Sheamus was going to win. I honestly thought that would have been disrespectful to Sheamus to have him conquer this big goal of winning the Intercontinental Championship. It's a title that it's eluded him throughout his entire career. He is going to win that championship. We just have to be patient. And that's what I'm playing with this, is patience. And as much as we all love Sheamus, Braun Breaker needs some new challengers. It's been Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser for about 3 months now. Let's move on and get this man new challengers. Sounds good to me. We had the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Kevin Last night, he was wearing a Naomi shirt because he was wrestling Jimmy Uso in the main event. Tonight, he was wearing a shirt that says, Cody sucks eggs. I love Kevin. Cody signs the contract first, and Kevin picks up the pen, and he puts it down because he's got some stuff to say. He says that, I disagree with a lot of what you said last night. But the thing I disagree with the most that you said is that I've always taken the easy way out. I have been here busting my ass for the WWE the last 10 years. And when you were here and times got tough, what did you do? You took your ball and you ran. And Cody immediately told him to shut up. And he told him that he is done with the past. He is done talking. And quite frankly, he is done with Kevin Owens. Because he said he's done with Kevin Owens because what his focus needs to be on is who he is defending the WWE Championship against at WrestleMania. So he says, Kevin, please sign the contract. Kevin, he's picking up the pen like he's gonna sign the contract, and he puts it down once again. And he says, you all don't understand, and more importantly, you don't understand. When he's talking to Cody, he says, when I sign this contract, not only am I going to become the rightful WWE champion, but I'm going to get everything that you've ever gotten since you came back 3 years ago. I'm going to be on the bulletin boards. I'm going to be on the buses. I'm going to be on the posters walking into the arena. I'm going to be the headliner. I'm going to get all the pyro that you get, and I will become the face of the company at the Royal Rumble. And he signs the contract, and Shawn Michaels is like, you seem jealous. And Kevin tells him, tell me what you just said. And Shawn Michaels is like, you heard me. You seem jealous. And Kevin tells him that Shawn is like everybody else who's in support of Cody instead of him. But there's one thing left to do, and it's to ascend the titles up in the air. And Shawn goes to shake Kevin Owens' hand, but he pulls his hand away, but instead shakes Cody's hand. Cody gets hit in the face by Kevin. Kevin gets a cheap shot in on Cody. Shawn Michaels is like, you cannot put your hands on him. All this stuff. So Shawn Michaels turns around. Kevin kicks him in the gut, and it looks like he's going to hit Shawn with the package pile driver, which was exactly what I wanted to happen. But that did not happen. Cody stops it. Kevin throws Cody over the top rope. But while Kevin is looking at Cody, behind him, Shawn Michaels is tuning up the band and hits the sweet chin music onto Kevin Owens. Kevin rolls out of the ring. Cody comes back in, and he stands side by side with Shawn Michaels, he's staring at Kevin Owens like a hawk. This segment was awesome, and I was so nervous going into it that we were going to get the same finish that we've seen for the last 4 months not 4 months, 4 weeks on SmackDown now, which is a pull apart brawl with them hitting security guards and fighting through the crowd and all that shit. I was so nervous that we were going to get that again for the finish, which we did not get. We got a little bit of a brawl, but we got Shawn Michaels getting physical, and it ended up fine. The segment was awesome, and if that was the go-home segment for this show, not for this show, for this match, I loved it. I loved it. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. This was the best thing on the show. This match ended in a disqualification, and I don't care. It was still the best thing on the show. In fact, the DQ might have been the best, because now it's going to extend this feud during the road to WrestleMania. So they were having a fine match. Braun Strowman was doing the running around the ring, shoulder tackle. He was doing it a third time, and Jacob Fatu threw Braun onto the announce table, over the announce table. And he threw him into the ring and was giving him hip attack after hip attack after hip attack after hip attack. The referee then had to stop in there to stop Jacob Fatu. And Jacob just says, basically, get the fuck out of my way. He throws the referee out of the ring. He does 2 more before the referee calls for the bell. But this guy does not care. The bell rings. He grabs a steel chair, and this bloke security guard comes running into the ring, stands up, and boom, gets hit in the face with a steel chair. Jacob is threatening these security guards and Nick Aldis. There's about 10 security guards, and they can't stop Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu hits 1 moonsault onto Braun Strowman. And by the way, by this time, Braun Strowman is busted open. He was bleeding from the mouth after all the hip attacks, and the blood got on his face right here. So, Braun Strowman's bleeding. Jacob Fatu hit a moonsault. Tama Tonga is consulting Jacob Fatu, but he pushes through security and hits another moonsault. And then he leaves the ring. Him and Tama leave the ring. And Jacob Fatu's on the outside. And Jacob Fatu walks back into the ring. And these fucking security guards don't do a damn thing about it. And this guy hits another moonsault. The crowd is going wild. And Jacob Fatu was so over in this angle, the crowd starts chanting, Fatu, Fatu, Fatu. So, this was fantastic. This was a fantastic angle for a match that ended in a DQ. At the end of the day, they made me forget about the DQ finish, which is a fucking great thing. Jacob Fatu came into this match a star. He's now a made man. Now we can kill a little time. Braun Strowman's probably got to be off TV for a couple weeks. realistically, he's not in the Royal Rumble match. He just got killed by Jacob Fatu. So he's off TV for like 2-3 weeks. He comes back. They have another match. Maybe like Falls Count Anywhere, a street fight. It's got to be something to that magnitude. And after that, we get to Jacob Fatu's match at WrestleMania, who I think is going to be Solo. So, we'll see where this goes. This is all amazing. Triple H is doing a phenomenal job booking Jacob Fatu. He's doing amazing. And we get to the main event. Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Can Jey win the big one? Will Gunther show up? This match was decent. I've seen better Gunther matches. I've seen better Jey matches. I've seen better matches from these guys against each other. Their match for the Intercontinental Championship last February was probably better than this one. I'm not saying this was bad, though. Gunther wins and retains. It was slow build. And the problem with this match, too many commercials. For a world title match that started at 9:42, that's 18 minutes left in the show. There was a commercial break the first minute into the match. There was a commercial break with 7 minutes to go in the show. And we came back, it was 9:56. And we basically get right to the finish. Jey Uso hits a super kick. He hits a spear. He hits the top rope. He hits the splash. And Gunther kicks out. That's the closest Jey Uso was going to get to winning this World Championship tonight. He goes and he hits another spear. But Gunther picks him up, power bombs Jey Uso, gives him another power bomb, and retains the World Championship. The story, I guess, going into this was that Jey Uso was the fans' mascot. That's what Gunther kept calling him. Jey Uso wasn't a threat, and by the end of the match, Jey Uso earned Gunther's respect. I guess that's the story of this match. So, I mean, whatever. It was fine. It was a decent main event. Wasn't the best thing on the show, but it was decent for what it was. Again, I've seen better from both guys, but Gunther retains, and he's still your World Heavyweight Champion. Raw is in Atlanta on Monday night. Will Goldberg show up? We'll see. We'll see. Apparently, Gunther is Goldberg's last match. That's a rumored last match for Goldberg. We'll see what happens. I would imagine Goldberg wants his last match at WrestleMania. So, yeah, we'll see if he shows up on Raw Monday. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really good show tonight. Enjoyed it from top to bottom. Again, I give it an 8 out of 10. Thumbs up show from your boy. Really good stuff. I'm going to get out of here. Subscribe to the channel. We got a full week of content coming up. Raw, AEW, Rumble predictions, SmackDown, and the Royal Rumble review itself on Saturday night. Comment down below your thoughts on Saturday night's main event. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, Conlon_Joseph. I'll see you guys Monday night for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay classy. Peace!